The screen is black for a moment, then a chaotic nighttime scene erupts into view. The audio is a mix of distant booms, air raid sirens, and panicked shouts. This is Moscow, the capital of Russia, a city that for decades felt insulated from the front lines of conflict. But not tonight. The date is being etched into history. A massive coordinated drone attack is unfolding over the city. We are breaking into our scheduled programming to bring you live coverage of this unprecedented event. Our team at Skies of Conflict is monitoring every development. This is a fluid situation, and information is changing by the minute. What you are seeing now is raw footage captured by residents on the ground, and we must warn you, some images may be disturbing. We are seeing multiple points of impact across the city. Reports are flooding in from the Moscow region, specifically from areas like Krasnogorsk and prestigious suburbs to the west, where many government and elite figures reside. The nature of these drones is immediately apparent. These are not large military aircraft. They are smaller, unmanned aerial vehicles, loitering munitions designed to bypass traditional air defense networks. The sound is distinct, a low buzzing that grows louder before being punctuated by the thunderous clap of an explosion, or the sharp crack of air defense systems engaging. Early reports from the Russian Ministry of Defense are claiming to have intercepted dozens of these drones, but the visuals tell a more complex story. Social media feeds are alight with videos showing bright orange fireballs lighting up the night sky, followed by plumes of black smoke rising over apartment blocks and commercial buildings. The psychological impact of this attack cannot be overstated for the residents of Moscow. This is a profound shock. The war has literally come home. The skies, which were once a symbol of security, are now a domain of threat. Air raid sirens, a sound more familiar to cities like Kyiv, are now wailing through the streets of the Russian capital. Civilians are being urged to stay indoors and away from windows. We are getting confirmed reports now that several buildings have sustained damage. Residential structures in the Moscow River area have been hit, windows shattered, facades scarred by shrapnel. There are unconfirmed reports of casualties, but the full extent is not yet known. Emergency services are on the scene, their blue and red lights adding to the disorienting light show. The logistical challenge for the responders is immense, with multiple incidents reported across a wide area. The Russian military is scrambling its air defense assets. We are hearing reports of Pantsir S-100 systems and S-400 missile batteries being activated, their tracers painting lines across the night sky in a desperate attempt to form a protective shield over the city. But the drones are low and fast and numerous, posing a severe challenge to even the most advanced integrated air defense systems. The question on every analyst's mind is who is behind this attack. Responsibility has not yet been formally claimed, but the tactical signature points towards Ukrainian capabilities. Ukraine has been developing its own long-range drone technology for months and has previously launched strikes on fuel depots, military targets deep inside Russia. But a strike of this scale and audacity on the capital itself marks a significant escalation in the conflict. It is a demonstration of a new strategic reality, that no major city is truly safe from aerial threats. The type of drone being used appears to be a modified version of a commercially available platform fitted with an explosive payload. These are cheap to produce and difficult to track on radar, making them a potent asymmetric weapon against multi-million-dollar air defense systems. This is the future of warfare playing out in real time over one of the world's most heavily fortified cities. The political ramifications are immediate and severe. The Kremlin is likely to view this as a direct attack on the heart of the Russian state. A red line has been crossed, and the response will be swift and likely brutal. We can expect a significant escalation in rhetoric from Moscow and potentially a massive retaliatory strike on Ukrainian cities. This event could be a turning point, a moment that shatters any remaining illusions about the contained nature of this conflict. It is no longer a war in the fields of Donbas. It is a war that can reach anywhere. The security apparatus in Moscow is now on its highest alert. There are reports of increased security around government buildings, including the Kremlin itself and the Federal Security Service headquarters. The city is in a state of lockdown, the normal hum of metropolitan life replaced by the eerie symphony of sirens and distant detonations for the average Muscovite. This is a night of fear and uncertainty, huddled in their apartments watching the same shocking footage we are seeing, wondering what the dawn will bring. The economic impact is also being felt. The Russian ruble is plummeting in after-hours trading, and global oil prices are experiencing volatility. The markets hate uncertainty, and there is nothing more uncertain than a direct attack on a global power center. This event sends a shockwave through global geopolitics, proving that modern conflicts are not bound by front lines. The The tactical details emerging are telling. The drones seem to have approached from multiple directions, possibly flying low to avoid radar detection and using waypoint navigation to strike specific targets. This was not a random barrage, it was a coordinated operation with clear intent. Some analysts suggest the targets included energy infrastructure and symbolic locations meant to demonstrate vulnerability and erode public confidence in the regime's ability to protect its people. The Russian information space is in chaos state. Media is attempting to downplay the events, emphasizing the effectiveness of the air defenses, while unofficial Telegram channels are flooded with visceral evidence of the attacks. This creates a dual narrative, one of official control and one of public panic. The disconnect is stark and could have long-term consequences for domestic stability inside Ukraine. The reaction is likely one of grim satisfaction. For months, Ukrainian cities have been subjected to relentless missile and drone barrages from Russia. This attack on Moscow, while tragic in its potential for civilian harm, represents a form of strategic parity. It shows that Ukraine can strike back, that it can bring the reality of war to the aggressor. This is a powerful psychological and military tool. The international community is watching with bated breath. NATO and the United States will be carefully calibrating their next moves. Any perceived support for such attacks could be used by Moscow as a pretext for further escalation. The situation is a diplomatic minefield. The next few hours are critical. We will be watching for any official statements from the Kremlin or the Russian Ministry of Defense. We will be monitoring for any claims of responsibility from Kyiv, which so far has maintained a policy of official ambiguity regarding attacks on Russian soil. We will also be tracking the response. Has Russia already launched a new wave of missiles at Kyiv? In retaliation, the cycle of escalation is a real and terrifying possibility. The footage continues to roll. In a new video shows a drone seemingly on a collision course with a high-rise building before the screen cuts to static. Another shows the aftermath of a strike on what appears to be a warehouse facility with fire raging out of control. The human cost is beginning to emerge. Videos from hospitals show people being treated for injuries, mostly from broken glass and shock. The true number of casualties may not be known for hours as rescue workers sift through the debris. This event also raises profound questions about the future of air defense. The failure to stop all of these relatively low-tech drones highlights a critical vulnerability even for nations with sophisticated military technology. It suggests that swarms of inexpensive drones can overwhelm billion-dollar systems, a lesson that militaries around the world will be studying intently for skies of conflict. This is a seminal moment in modern air warfare. It is the culmination of trends we have been tracking for years: the democratization of air power, the blurring of the lines between civilian and military technology, and the terrifying efficiency of asymmetric tactics. The skies are no longer the exclusive domain of multi-million-dollar fighter jets and bombers. They are now a contested space open to anyone with the ingenuity to put a flying machine in the air and an explosive on its nose. As the sun begins to rise over Moscow, the scale of the damage will become clearer. The city will awaken to a new and frightening reality. The smoke will slowly dissipate, but the psychological scars and the geopolitical shockwaves from this night will reverberate for a long time to come. This is not just an attack on a city, it is an attack on a paradigm. It proves that in the 21st century, conflict is boundless and that the firestorm can ignite anywhere, even over the heart of a superpower. We at Skies of Conflict will continue to provide updates as this situation develops. Our thoughts are with all those affected by the violence tonight. Stay tuned.